I'm Colin.
And I'm John.
Good evening. It's not been the best weekend, guys. How are you both doing today?
I'm alright, mate. I've had a good admin day. Like, I've cut the grass, been to see my mum, tidied up a bit of the house, burnt all we've got rid of the shredder, so I started burning it. Done that. Been a good, put all the garden furniture away. So this feels like a good clearance.
I thought you were going to say, like, burnt your season ticket, burnt my season ticket, burnt my scarf. Fucking raging.
Done that last night. Chucked that away. You know what I mean?
Well, you didn't go for the performative launch on the pitch, did you?
Doesn't count if you've not filmed it and put it on TikTok or something. It doesn't matter. If you're not publicly angry, are you really angry at all? John, how about you? How you doing?
Similar, actually. I've had a good day. There's been a bit of housework, a bit of cooking, that sort of stuff. Aye, no, it's been good. What about yourself? How are you?
I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Been a not a bad Sunday, all things considered. Kieran on YouTube said, "All right, boys, a few tough conversations to be had." Absolutely, Kieran, and we'll not shy away from it as well, which is sometimes like folk think that we didn't get critical enough on the podcast, and
I didn't like it when we do.
Kieran,
it's
I
a funny
lived through
thing.
I lived through the Monty months, so this is nothing. This is fine.
Kieran, what we're going to do tonight is we'll spend a little bit of time talking about the game, but actually, we're going to fire right into the talking points. 'Cause I think when you have a bad result and a bad performance, as it was, like I mean, it wasn't the worst performance we've ever had at Tynecastle, but it was fucking shite. When you have sometimes it's best just to kind of be a conduit for folks' views. So we'll kind of be led by the talking points. So if you've got anything that you want to add, stick it in the comments on YouTube. We'll cover it. But we've got I think 60 or 70 tweets to get through as well on the team, and we'll not pull any punches. We'll pretty much just read them as they come through. So. McCod Army said, "What was that kickoff all about? A fucking crazy kickoff as well, just like a fucking flick up and put it up in the air."
But come on, see if we had one, right? We would have been laughing about it the night.
100%.
It's one of them. Like, they laughed at the time. Everybody was laughing at the time.
Right. Well, let's just kind of get a wee overview of what you thought about the game. Colin, do you talk us through your views on the game before we get into the talking points?
I thought it was one of the like derbies are notorious for being shite, right? Like through the 80s and the 90s and that. In terms of like performance, like just not take out the results, the actual game, mind it got stop getting shown on the TV and everything because it was shite.
Mm-hmm.
It was shite enough to not be on the telly last night. It was fucking awful a game. Like next to no chances between the teams, nothing. All we've got to talk about is that Iredale punted a ball up like a rugby ball at the start of the game. Boyle had a chance and missed it. Boyle ran offside a couple of times, and Hertz took the chance they got. That's it. That's the game. Like there was nothing. No team created anything. Our midfield didn't get involved. They had wide guys trying to do something, but never really. Like this boy, they've all been raving about, and even Hibs fans talking about it, how they'll rip Cadden. You just need to keep him on his left foot, and he does fuck all. Like they put him out on the left, he stays out, he's out on the left. If he can't cut in on his right, he's fucked. And it was just a shite game of football, and they took their chance at the end because we switched off as usual.
Really standard. John, what do you have to add about it?
I was out in Bo'ness yesterday in a wee social club called Fisons. I was out there with long-time listeners, Budgie McBee, Sandy Galetta, Sean Rayburn. And when we were sat watching it, we likened it to purgatory because it was that shit a game. It was torture to watch. There's very little to add to what Colin said. It was just a shit game with very few chances, and one team happened to scored. Unfortunately for us, it was the wrong team.
I'm looking at the stats here on FotMob, and it's got big chances. I'm not sure exactly what is categorised as a big chance, but it's one each. We missed one. They missed 9. So.
Pretty grim. It's like a derby for fucking yesteryear. Ronnie said, "Hi bangers, nightmare result. I don't think we deserve to lose that." Dan said, "Evening folks, evening Dan." Sandy said, "One word, evening everybody." Kenneth said, "Evening, where to start?" Michael said, "What did you think of the kickoff?" What did you think of the kickoff, John, when you saw it? What went through your head at that exact moment in time as the ball neared orbit?
Strangely, I actually kind of I can't remember it. I don't know whether, like, some of the guys that I was with and was watching the game with, like, we've not been in each other's company like that for quite a while. So there's maybe like a wee bit of chat left and right. So I must have missed the immediate, like, kickoff. I think, was kickoff slightly delayed? You know how normally it's kind of like they're out, centre circle, all that sort of stuff, and then referee blows and that's it. Like, it seemed to be delayed a little bit. So I thought maybe there was like a delay in starting the game, and I've maybe turned to my left or my right, and I've had a wee bit of a conversation. I've missed the up and under that Colin described.
So just to get his touch back that Iredale, he flicks it up for himself and then just literally almost put it. It wasn't quite straight up. I mean,
He's went on the apex, like the golf shots that the last week they were showing you on the telly camera. But it was like a rugby up and under, and it just landed, and you're almost thinking, fucking test them out, eh? That's what it looked like. and then you seen Gray laughing. Iredale's laughing when he's away to take the throw in. So whether they had spoke about it or whether he had taken it, like they had taken an instruction, like literally or something, and fucking just nobody expected it to put it that way. But so what? Like,
Scottish TV Gold on YouTube said Hibs players must have been watching Football Focus yesterday afternoon as they were doing a feature on those weird kickoffs. Barney Rubble said zero creativity, not a single skillful player in that lineup. Me said Nicky needs back in the team. Yes, he can't defend, but if defence behind him was solid like last season, he'd be fine. His twins worse and plays. What did you think of the team lineup yesterday?
Well, do you want me to speak? Or do you want to speak?
Go for it. No, you go for it.
I was.
So I'm sorry. I'm sitting here with my board, and apart from Chaiwa, who wasn't available at all, that is the team I picked. And I think I said if Chai was not available, I'd play McGrath or Campbell. I can't remember if I said in that order or if or what I done. But so I had no real complaints about the team, right? That's what I thought. Why would you not play it like that? But on hindsight, there was zero creativity in that team. There was no any. But then surely there's boys in there you would expect to be creative, like Bowie, Boyle, Mulligan, like Campbell even. Mm-hmm. That's their job. That's part of their job.
John, what did you think of the team?
I got in touch with you guys immediately just to say, like, is that no Professor Football's team? And then Professor Football quickly corrected me and said, no, Chai wasn't on the team.
Aye.
So no, I didn't have any. I wouldn't say that. I try not to think too much about the personnel when they're playing, and I try and just sort of like line it up in my head and go, aye, that sounds fine. Like I try not to overthink it. And it seemed all right. Like there wasn't, when we talked about it in the preview show on Friday, I talked about having something recognisable, like not changing the personnel or not like drastically changing the shape to counter the the league winners, and that's what we got. So I didn't have any problems with it.
Fair enough. Wee Scrubber on the YouTube comments. A Wee Scrubber, I think, last time announced themselves as a Rangers fan. Said, just want to congratulate Falkirk on their goal today, and Russell Martin must stay. Kieran Gallagher's wrong podcast for that.
They were congratulating him on the way to his car. Did you see that?
Aye, that's
it. Cheer him into his motor.
Well done, them. Kieran said, I thought both teams were shocking, but I'm more concerned about us, to be honest. Hearts are in a position to have a bad performance. We aren't in that position. And me said PSG started that weird kickoff. Now everyone's doing it.
Oh, right.
If PSG have done it, it's obviously that'll be de rigueur very soon.
Well done.
Kieran said it was our most creative thing we've done all game. HBC Rangers 2 said, I thought we were generally very solid, just disappointed to lose a goal right at the death. They didn't look anything special with Braga and Shankland. And Jack Flash and Mulligan right wing back until a signing comes in. So Mulligan moved back into the midfield. It has been a talking point for a while. We talked about it on the previous show about where to play Mulligan. Colin, you mentioned the midfield didn't get involved. But what about Mulligan's performance?
Well, it's not just Mulligan. Like the midfield didn't get involved. Now I've seen people say it's because we weren't. Well, I think we are just going long to Bowie. Sorry, aren't we? But I don't know if you've watched any of the TV chat. It was Mulgrew and Hutton and that. And one of them was saying at half time, I think it was, that Hibs were knocking about at the back, right? And they were trying to work out what the aim was. Because it looked fucking aimless, right? Because gradually what was happening, they were knocking about at the back, and then eventually somebody would just fucking launch it. Like they ran out of ideas. And one of them was like, they've ran out of ideas. The other one's going, I think they're trying to bring them in and knock it over the top for Boyle, sorry.
Yeah.
never really worked. Well, he got through 3 times actually, right? But twice he was offside. But the midfield one, they're taking the ball off the defence. Now, whether that's because they weren't shown for it, whether they were marked out the game, although I don't think they should have been, because I was looking at the formations and that the day on the BBC, and we had 3 in there, and this was a big complaint, wasn't it, earlier in the season when we were only playing 2 in there and we're getting overrun. We had 3 against 2 and we couldn't overrun them. So I was disappointed with the whole midfield actually.
John, we'll come on to it because the talking points mention it, but that direct style of play got a bit of criticism, or quite a lot of criticism from Hibs fans. Not pleasant on the eye. Is that what happens when you take Dylan Levitt out of the team?
Well, that's a good question. Maybe. I think one of the challenges that we're finding at the moment with different players, in different form and different players, is it's almost like this flavour of the week thing that goes on where, and I've fallen victim to it as well, where I've suggested get Barlaser playing in midfield, for example, even though I hadn't seen him play before. And then it's get Chaiwin, he played well in Europe, he's going to be an absolute, a brilliant find for Hibs, and then he has a couple of poor games. It's we need to go back to Levitt, who we were championing at the start of the season. So there's that indifferent form. And I guess if you have indifferent form, you can't build any sort of continuity, but continuity is a problem. Because I don't know, I get the feeling in midfield, because we haven't found the right blend of players in there, you can't get any sort of continuity. And the players that you have aren't making a claim for a regular starting space.
Yeah.
Levitt must be wondering what he's done wrong, though. He's one of these boys, he gets 60 minutes, he's looking over, thinking, I'll be coming off in a minute. And then they eventually bring some boy in, starts playing, and he doesn't even get on for him. This boy plays the whole game. And you go, what the fuck's he done wrong? He must have sitting there going, I may as well be out here.
Maybe that's what he's done wrong. His last year of contract is maybe no, maybe this is pure speculation. How to start a rumour. He's maybe just not interested in signing another contract. Maybe that's influencing Gray's thinking. That's just
you made that up.
I've just made that up. He is out of contract at the end of the season. I've not made that up, but the reasoning I'm knocking back a contract is 100% speculation. So treat it with absolute contempt. IBC Rangers 2 said, and I was okay with our tactics, playing physical, high kickoff, just didn't fall our way. Different narrative if Boyle's chip went in. Kieran said Mulligan's getting shifted about here and there and everywhere. Has killed him by the looks of it. Grace talking about this dual position players. How about just leave Mulligan in the middle and let him develop? Dan said it just shows
you. Or at right wing back. One of the pickies. I agree with that. But it doesn't necessarily have to be in the middle. But yeah, I think he's right.
Dan said it just shows they were supposed to steamroll us. Didn't happen. Hard luck story. No getting away from the fact we lost. Some of the pish I've seen folks saying about Gray, etc. Mental. Tam says, why couldn't we pick a midfield 3 to play football? We were up against 2 in the Hearts midfield, agricultural hoofball by design. Let's talk about the tactics then, right? So we've kind of joked, or not even joked about it, but commented about Lennon's time at Hibs, right? And Lennon is lauded for that spell. They had 6 months where we played brilliant stuff, but he would still go to Tynecastle and pick on the big players, and it would be shite, and he would just try to kind of, I don't know, have a fight with him. Did Gray fall into that trap, John? Is it on Gray that we played so uncreatively yesterday?
I don't know. Like I said, we described the game as being in purgatory. But I expected the game to go that way because of the conditions. You mentioned how well Hearts are apparently doing, but there wasn't. I never saw anything from them that made me think, oh, aye, that's the champions elect. They were just as bad as we were. The only difference was that goal. That was it. In terms of tactics, I don't know. Do you try and play football in those conditions, or do you go for the battle? I don't know. In hindsight, you would say you should have tried to play football because there was no football, but that was true of both sides.
Yeah.
But I think they probably fucking, right, here I'm going to say this, right? They probably tried to play more than we did. Right? Even if you look at the number of passes that have been made and all that, they did try to play more football. We didn't try. Our passes were all Hanley to Salinger to fucking Iredale knocking up to Obita knocking it back. It was fucking rubbish. It was shit. But then maybe I'm watching that more like because I'm more concerned about Hibs than I am Hearts. But it was a shite game. It did look like two shit teams. One of them, albeit, I think they won. No, they nearly won the league. Motherwell got beaten the end today, but
Aye.
it was like it was fucking rubbish, and it was so bad to watch. But I just felt they tried to win it more, even like making changes. Like I'm sitting going, we've not made any changes yet. What happened to the 60-minute sub?
I think that's a good point. Actually, there was I think it was maybe just after, like maybe 5-10 minutes after McGrath come on for Campbell, I think, and I'd asked the guys I was watching it with, have we made any other subs? Like it felt like we need.
I was the exact same, John.
I want to say, like, I felt like we should have made more changes at that point in the game, but we could have made changes earlier because what was happening in the game, like we've said, was just absolute shit. Like, but were we just going to continue to be shit, or trying to play shit football with new personnel?
I know, but you could change it a bit. Like you've got Nicky Cadden there, who won us the game. Well, probably his partner won us the game there at Glass Christmas last time we played there. And didn't even get on. You know what I mean? Even Levitt might have changed the midfield, like Matthew's saying there as well, because we weren't getting nothing out of that midfield. How they all played. Well, they never all played because Campbell came off, but how the two of them played 90 minutes and they had no impact in the game other than that fucking free kick that Barlas had booted into fucking Murrayfield. Like, it was shite. And to answer the question you asked about the thing, I think it is like on the setup there, like setup. I don't know if it comes under that, but our game plan seemed to be the big ball to Bowie to knock it down to Boyle, and he did that. He did get it a few times, but they just had two boys on him. Like they were just fucking pulling him all over the place. There was one over the top of him. There was one underneath him taking his legs. It was like fucking. It was like a high ball in rugby, like when everybody just goes and challenges for the ball, and he was getting fuck all for the ref. Like the ref gave him nothing in the first half. They were just pulling him all over the place. And I know Hearts fans are saying he's diving in that, but there's two of them on him, and they were just pulling him. He was running fuck all, and you go, we just got to keep doing this. And you go, somebody's got to change something here, surely. Like, get the ball into the midfield. There's more of them in there. Get them on it. They're all good players. Get them on the fucking ball. Get them to create something. I don't like the way, and I've said it a few times. So it's not just a reactionary, emotional outburst after a derby loss, but we're playing Bowie like to get into battles. He's a better football player than that.
He is.
He can do that. He's strong and he can win a battle, but he didn't need to do everything as a fucking battle. Like, get him into space, get the ball at his feet, and we're not doing that. We're like using him as like a big target man, which he can do. He wasn't that effective yesterday, although he did get a couple of them to Boyle. But I think we're wasting him, like with the sort of just aiming a diagonal at him.
Is it a problem that there's a perception that 0-0 would have been seen as a good result for Gray? Like there was a lot of talk about them settling for the draw, especially as the game went on. And obviously we lose the goal late on, but it didn't feel like we went all out to win the game. It was that sort of like a war of attrition or battle of attrition. Is that an issue that we go to Tiny and see a 0-0 as a good result?
Aye, in the main, I think at this time everybody obviously they've been talking themselves up by the media and that and how good they are. So it would have been seen as a good result. Because everybody would be going, how did Hibs manage that? You know, if we got a draw and we're a ball here away for it. But I think normally we should be going there. We should be going there to try and win, like we did last year. You know what I mean? It's not like a. I think in my way. I don't know if this is the Lennon influence on Gray. Kind of he talks about these different influences of different managers, because it's like that is. But then he never done it last year.
No, I wonder if it's the conditions. I think that maybe, and maybe it's true for both teams. Look at it and go, "You're just no fucking playing football like this. Just win the fight if you can."
Do you think Gray's maybe having a wee bit of a second album challenge? Like he's had the first one last year. It was a good album. This one's, will we just write this season off and focus on the third album when that comes out?
It's early to be writing in and off. We're only 7 games in. Right, let's get to Twitter talking points. I said we would do this, right? So Jay James, first one we've got after Gillian. Gillian said got nothing to say.
apart from that.
It's not great as a talking point, Jelly. I've got to say, right? But I appreciate the sentiment. Jay James says, Gray out, time's done. Absolutely pathetic. Week in, week out. Can't defend. Lose a goal. End every game. No ability to change tactics. This is it's not the first Gray out shout that we've seen post yesterday's result.
I thought you were going to say
Thoughts?
it's not the first that we've seen ever.
Well,
Like we had Gray out last year, last season.
We did, but I mean, it was fairly quiet. Do you know, it was really at the end of that bad run that folk were really starting to get it. But here we're 7 games into the league season. That's our first defeat. Colin, what do you think? Gray out, is that a premature shout?
Aye.
Right.
Yeah,
easy answer.
I mean, like, do we ever learn? Like, I hope the club have learned their lesson. Like, look, we binned Jack Ross, right? Because he never won big games. No, but he finished third, and he got to a cup final. And then it went shite for years after that because we went through Maloney and we went through fucking Monty and Johnson, didn't we? After that, and it was fucking horrendous for all these seasons when we had just finished third place and we lost a handful of games, and we went mad. The club shat it and the club sacked them and they've admitted their failings there. Now we've lost 1 game this season. And we've already got calls for it. So imagine if we lose the next couple of games. We spoke about this last year. Like, how quick does it turn? How quick will it turn? Well, we've into a big run. You'll get a bit of leeway. There's credit in the bank. It's like, I'm reading the message boards today and it's all talk about how the credit's evaporated or evaporating quickly. And I'm like, this is fucking mental. It's because it's a derby and it's because it's an emotional loss. 0-0, folk wouldn't have been shouting for him. But there would have still been folk sitting, because there's been folk sitting sniping even during the run, about formations and setups and fucking how boring it is or whatever. So they've been sitting waiting in the wings, but I do understand how we've not learnt our lesson. Hopefully the club have.
The performances, so take yesterday's result out of it, John. The performances haven't been particularly great for last week. I mean, we got the point at Celtic Park last week, right? 0-0. Wasn't a great performance, but we got a point. Like we were having a conversation on WhatsApp earlier about Motherwell. Motherwell went there today, played quite well, got nothing. We weren't great, come away with a point. It's a better result. But we weren't great at Ibrox.
That's what I was going to say. It's 3 games against the big ones, they're big games, and all away from home. But we've hardly laid a glove on any of them. That's what it is. That's why it's biting folk. And
when we have played well, we've got ourselves into a winning position and then fucked it. You know, like we've done it at Falkirk, we did it against Kilmarnock, we did it against St Mirren.
Sorry, I'm laughing at myself thinking about Colin's reference to Gray's influences with previous managers. So is that some of the form this season? Has he been influenced by Monty's time?
Jack Ross, maybe. Like he's sensing we're sensing the Jack Ross fucking second season drop off, aren't we? There, like a bit harsher than what Ross got. He seemed to get a bit more leeway.
But are these things like you take out that emotional result as you called it, Colin? It has been building a little bit. The noise has been building, although we've not been losing games. That a lot of the draws that we've had have felt like losses because we've been in a position where we've been about to win it. Late goals at half time, like these things that are repeating themselves, and it doesn't seem to have an answer for it at the moment. But we had this conversation last season where we keep shooting ourselves in the foot. How does he coach it? And then it stopped because they're kind of freak things to happen.
It's mental though, eh? Like Aberdeen went on that big long run and then fell off the cliff. Hearts went on a shite run. Now they're on a good run. We went on a good run. Now we're on a shite run, losing 1 game but drawing a lot of games.
Yeah.
And it's like, how does it go in like such like the momentum's mental? Like you would think that it would even out more frequently rather than like in big bulks batches like
that. Me on YouTube says the next game, if we lose, it's a serious issue. We shouldn't be getting beat off Livy at home. And Kieran said if you play well, most weeks you've got a chance of winning. If you're rubbish, most weeks you might sneak a draw, but you'll not win many. And Joe said 1 goal in the last 6 games between Boyle and Bowie. Clegy surely must get his chance now, and we need to bring back Levitt. Axel on the Twitter said hoof. Normally after a derby that relates to not to us, but it's very much directed at us this time. John said questions have to be asked of Gray. Set up not to lose instead of to try to win. Always collapse at the end of a match. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results.
Do you think that, so Colin, you mentioned it there about, I think about feeling emotional. Sorry, it was a comment about this isn't a knee-jerk thing, or, feeling emotional after a defeat or whatever. Do you not find that, greatest respect to everyone that's sending in the comments and, asking us questions for us to discuss, but do you not find that we end up having the same conversations about lots of different managers? It's the same things. And maybe, I know I'm going to try and frame this a slightly different way from what I've said previously or what I've suggested previously, but maybe the answer is to do nothing. Like, let's not get upset. Let's not get too outraged by the fact that we got beat, and we just go back to, or we let Gray and the team go back to the training ground and work on what they need to do better, instead of setting these bars, for example, of what is or what isn't acceptable. So you're right, like, we shouldn't be getting beat off Livingston, but the nature of football is that you are playing against someone who is trying to beat you.
Yep.
That doesn't seem unreasonable. Instead of saying, well, if we get beat off Livingston, that's me and fucking David Gray finished. He needs to fucking go.
That's not how football works, though, is it? Like, I mean, we all get carried away, don't we? Like, this is
absolutely
the joy of football, isn't it? Like, we wouldn't do this if it wasn't for the chance that, well,
fucking joy.
I said this last time.
Everybody loves a fucking moan, don't they? Like, everybody loves a fucking moan.
There is the rational approach, and then there is the emotional football supporter. Like, as soon as the goal went in last night, I went, "Oh, fuck this! I'm away at the toilet. If I didn't come back, it's because I've hung myself," making stupid jokes like that. That's how you feel. But the reality is, like, the people that you want to improve the things are the ones that are responsible for keeping a level head and keeping emotion out of it.
Mm-hmm. Hibs Rangers 2 said spot on, John. And you're right, I agree with you. I kind of playing a bit devil's advocate, but I do agree with you. I think, and although the bit I agree with is like about no setting these sort of false bars or arbitrary bars. Like sort of like this is acceptable and that's not acceptable, and letting Gray go and sort it out. Gray does need to make some changes, Colin, doesn't it? Like, I mean, we can't keep playing like this.
No, we can't. It's dull. It's not creative. Although I say it's not creative, right? The last 3-4 games might be clouding my judgment, because we were creating loads of chances and missing them earlier in the season.
Yeah.
And if we had taken them, we wouldn't be sitting. We would still be having some of this reaction, right? Because we've lost the derby. Mm-hmm. But it wouldn't have been then getting chucked in with how the stats get spun. So we're going 1 defeat this in the league domestically, and others will go, that's 1 in 12 though, 1 win in 12, or or you say, like I seen it on the message boards this morning, where we should be challenging for third, and somebody's replied saying we're 2 points off third. We're 2 points off 8th or 9th or something, and you're like, right, but we're challenging for third, mate. Like, that's what the points in, and it's so the stats get spun for whatever your argument is. What did you ask me? We do need to change something though, because it's boring, right? But I say it's boring. The last 3 games, it's like Celtic, Rangers, and Hearts. He's maybe not had the belief that they can go and win, because we've sat in. And even when we played these better teams in Europe, Midfield who just beat Nottingham Forest, and we should have put out there again, last minute goal. And Legia again, last minute
Partizan,
goal. Yeah, all these teams, they're better than these teams that we're battling against. We played more football in the games. Like, we were pressing, we were snapping away. The midfield were involved. Bowie was looking a different type of player. Whereas now we seem to have, like, I don't know, like, sat in more and just didn't involve the midfield. Just get up to Bowie and he'll do stuff, and Boyle's quick enough that he'll stay on side sometimes.
Kieran's made the point here, and I kind of agree with this as well. He said every manager that finished third has struggled the next year and has been sacked due to expectations being set. These players and managers have set a bar. It's not a bar the fans have made. So it's like because we had that third place last season, the expectation is that say, well, it's achievable and we should be going for it again.
But we have gone for it again.
Yeah. Dan said I'd give Gray a full season, case closed. Sanders says 2 points better off than this time last year and we finished third.
That's mad, it's only 2 points though, because it was much shiter than this. We were losing games last year. We must have won one instead of these draws.
Belden Lascar said so much to mull over. Yet another last gasp goal sinks us. Toothless attackers. Boyle making up for lost pace by being offside. Bowie's game has been sussed out. £1 million player warming the bench. I think it's fair to say Gray has some questions to answer. Now, Boyle, we've kind of spoke about before, like when we were talking on the previous show, we wanted him in the team because a big game player. But one of the comments I think that come up is he's missed big chances at important moments in games, and he's offside a lot. Both things featured heavily yesterday. Had the big chance in the game he's missed, and then he's been offside and a goal chopped off. Is it time for Boyle now to get a wee spell out the team and get Clige in, Colin?
I think it's getting close to that. Yeah. I mean, get me wrong, like that. Our only chances. Our only chance. We had 3 chances, right? He was offside twice. He scored one of them, but then everybody knew it was offside. It was one of those ones that I don't know what you boys were like, John and the Boozer, but everybody was like, he's offside. You know, nobody celebrated the goal. You know what I mean?
Colin, it's like you were a fly on the wall. That's exactly. But we're all sitting there like, nah, it's not.
But see, when you see it, like they had to put the lines on it. It was actually a lot closer than I think naked eye looked. But it was off. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to argue, wasn't it? It was. But I think at the time it was like that one. Remember the Dundee United one last year where everybody thought Hoylett was off. Was it Hoylett?
I did.
Everybody's like,
in the way I didn't even celebrate that one. It was like so obviously offside, and then
it was like that, and it was surprising how close it was. The other one he was off, and he missed anyway. But the one that he did get through, he should have scored. Right, he nearly scored. He hit the bar, but he took a poor touch, a heavy touch, and then he was really close to the keeper, and he had to like scoop it. So instead of shooting, he was like flicking it up and over, and that's why he went so high. If he'd even been half a yard further back, it would have probably dropped in. But we didn't get many chances like that. No, the way we're playing, and no way at Tynecastle, you didn't get loads of chances. You need to take them, and they never. So, maybe possibly Clige, but you know what? I've hardly seen the boy. Like, I don't know how good he is.
I think
that's if we spent £1 million, or we claim to have spent £1 million. Like, I don't know how much we spent on him, and I don't know how good he is.
Over $1 million. Yeah.
Aye, was it though? Like, you know, is that all his wages and that rolled in? You know,
no, it was transfer fee. Like we announced it was for a record fee.
It was club record fee.
Those were the words. It wasn't a record spender or that kind of. That was getting twisted on Hibsnet as well. Aye.
I've not read the Clige threads in that. It was other ones, but I don't know. Aye, probably. But then Bowie's getting away with a lot. No, he's not done much in the last few weeks. But he was excellent. He was excellent in the European run, which was only about fucking a month ago.
But this, I don't know if the challenge is motivation or form or whatever it is that needs. Or I don't know specifically what the challenge is. But if you take Boyle as the example, he is seen as the big game player, but he is the big game player who's missing the big chances in the big games. And how much credit does he have in the bank with the manager or with the support before he takes a deserved spell on the sidelines? But the flip side of that is, of course, like Clige's not really had much in the way of game time. Like the only time I think that he's had a start was at Livingston, and he's scored.
Yeah.
So like he's not a ready-made replacement. It's not a case of, well, we've got an underperforming player and we've got a ready-made replacement.
We don't know what he's like yet.
To come in and be better.
But then we have spent that kind of money on him, so we must value him, right? So why not? And it worked last year when Boyle got taken out of the team. He came back and he was firing. So,
and I think if you want to have genuine competition for places, you have to drop players. You have to put somebody else in and say, well, it's their chance. And do you know what? If you put Clige in and he has a couple of games and he doesn't do it, then Boyle comes back in. But he's had that. He has to perform. Aye.
If you address the Boyle form issue, the spotlight, I think, also needs to turn on Bowie, because I don't think he's necessarily playing badly. I think the job that he's been asked to do, and the fact that it's almost like one of my mates has suggested that it was like previously when all the referees, it was like they had a secret meeting and all said, no, Boyle's getting fuck all. It's like they've had the same meeting again with regards to Bowie and went, he's getting fuck all too. Yeah. So we need to use Bowie differently. Perhaps, as Colin suggested, use him more as a football player rather than the guy to draw
Aye.
fouls. Because I think the last time that he won a foul was probably in the European games.
Kieran said, we've been terrible this season, absolutely shocking today. We couldn't string 2 passes together. Please don't sugarcoat it and say we were unlucky tomorrow night. Hearts made subs to go for it. We look terrified. I don't recognise us. We have been shocking all season. Hoofball. Ali said, we don't really seem to have any ideas in attack other than lumping it up to an offside Boyle or long throw-ins.
No, fuck it. Didn't start me on them. Fucking hell.
They're a waste of time, Like I can't think of a long throw-in that's worked for us this season. It's just
They're just floated in.
Aye.
They're
The
just
keeper
floated in.
can just come and get them, or
Yeah.
they get cleared easy as any.
You may drill it in if you can do it. If you've not got anybody to drill it in, then you fucking do it.
For all we're criticising Boyle and stuff, early in the season we seem to be creating a lot of chances. That's died down a bit the last couple of games, albeit Celtic and Hearts that we've played. We talk about the midfield missing out. We didn't really seem to have like a really coherent way of creating chances at the moment. That the system isn't working for us in a creative sense at the moment. I wouldn't think, John. Would you say?
I agree. It's been. I think. I don't know. I don't know whether we fared better in the European games because the European teams, they would have been able to watch like match footage, for example, but they weren't the team. They weren't the teams or the players who were coming up against us week to week. Whereas Scottish football last season seems to have. I don't know if they've figured out how we're trying to play, or if we've not figured out exactly how we're trying to play. So I think there may be a suggestion that we are trying to expand on the way that we were playing football last season to make us less predictable, to make like a subtle change to try and keep the other teams guessing. And it's maybe that's not quite working out yet. In fact, it's not working out yet. Like we've seen the evidence of that. The answer to that, though, I don't know. Like it seems like there's a number of different problems there. Like I mentioned before, like form, individual form, managerial selections, finding the right blend of players. Like I suggested there with Boyle up front, like turning the spotlight on Bowie. It wasn't a criticism. It was, if Boyle's not performing and Bowie's not performing, who do we actually play up front?
Yuan, where's he?
And he's injured, but that is also true, I think, of a number of other positions on the pitch. I don't think the back three is too much of a problem. They seem to be relatively stable at the moment.
Aye, and we've got decent backup there as well. Like Rocky can come back in, and Hanley's came in, obviously, like you would expect as a Hall of Famer. Like come in, and he was again good last night. Although you could argue, well, who's organising that for that goal at the end? Like when you see the stills there, and there's like fucking 5 Hibs defenders all together, and then 3 at the back post. There are 2 or 3 Hearts players at the back post on their own. You're like, what the fuck are we? But obviously, I don't know if that's zonal marking. I don't know if that's what that is.
So shambles marking is what it is.
Yeah.
Ryan 1875 said, is it time to change it up? This formation offers nothing going forward. Always look like we have 10 men because we sit so deep. We're predictable to play against now and don't seem to have a plan B. Colin, would you advocate a change? Like we picked the team, went with 3-5-2. Is it time for 4-4-2 or 4-3-3?
I don't know. I don't know how much. It's the same players that are going to play in those formations, and it might bring Nicky Cadden into the mix, I suppose. With that, but it worked well last year, and I don't know if it's like John's saying there, these subtle tweaks to a 3-4. Instead of a 3-4-1-2, it's a 3-4-2-1 at times. That split tens and all that stuff we've spoken about, and everybody was saying the setup's no good. We've only got 2 in the middle. Didn't matter yesterday, we had 3, but like there's something though working, and I don't know if it's all the changes of the. We spoke last year about. I wonder what the dynamics would be like when we start bringing in different players. Like we brought different bodies in. Gray's not quite. They've brought these guys in, which he gets a final word on, and it's like he's not quite sure on them. Took him ages to get Salinger in, who's definitely been playing well, right? He's brought in Cleege. He's not played him. Chaiwa's been in and out. Obviously, it looks like he wants to. Ballister went straight in though, and he's the one out of them all. You would go, how's he jumped straight in ahead of like when there's other guys that would appear to be have shown more. McGrath and Mulligan have come in. Mulligan's in and out of different positions, like I think it was Kieran that said earlier. And I don't know if he knows what his best team is. Never mind the formation. I don't think the formation really matters. I think it's what's your cup final team, if you like what your cup final them won. Who are you picking?
Aye.
I don't know if he knows it.
And John, the players need to take a bit of responsibility as well. Like I think that this gets lost as well. Like we need players in a game like that to be trying to put their foot in the ball and make things happen. Like it can't just all be kick and rush. Like they need to be better than they were in possession. Like, boy, the time is on better. Like we need to defend the cross better at the end. Like, but actually try to string passes together and have a bit of quality. That's not just on the manager. Like I don't think David Gray's sent them out and said, go out and just fucking kick it about your face and hope for the best. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Aye.
are we suffering because we didn't really have any player that's on form at the minute? Like nobody really sort of carrying us through games.
That's definitely one aspect of it. Like you've described it before as like a couple of players playing at like 8 or 9s, and everyone like, and then like it's not even that we're all playing at 7s at the moment. I'd say that we're all playing at like 6s. I don't know what that is out of 15, but maybe it's 6 out of 15.
9.
What was the original question there? I did have a train of thought, and then you
players
twisted it on me.
taking
Oh,
responsibility.
Aye, so even if you take into consideration like the tendency to lose late goals in the half, whichever half it happens to be, like it is happening, it is a factor. David Gray, to paraphrase what you're saying, like he's not saying to the players, go out there and just switch off for the last 15 seconds of the game, whether it's like 89 and 45 seconds or 92 and 45 seconds. Like David Gray's not saying to them, that's fine, like don't worry about it. Like the game will see itself out. So the players absolutely need to take responsibility. I've not properly looked at the goal again since, in fact, I've only seen the goal live. I've not watched it since then. There's been various suggestions about Cliche lets the man run. Hibs should stop the cross. That was a Jack Ross shout from years ago. But I don't know. Like,
and Cadden
we
lets the
don't.
man go as well.
Cam did himself cover himself in glory with it.
We don't know if the instruction to the players is to stop the cross, but you would think the responsibility on the players if allowing the cross to come in results in goals, they go, no, fuck it, I'm going to get a foot in there.
Do you know what they're right? Like we're watching it, and it's like the last 5 minutes of the game anyway, right? Because there was hardly any injury time because fuck all happened in the game. There was no stoppages, there was no injuries even. There was no VAR checks, there was fuck all, none happened. So it was only 2 or 3 minutes at the end, the extra. But just before that, we were sitting so deep, and we're going, why the fuck are we sitting in like this? We're getting deeper and deeper and deeper, you know that? And we've done it before, we've done it over the seasons, we've spoke about it, and here under all the managers have mentioned in disparaging terms. But we were going deeper and deeper and deeper. And like I don't care that much about football. Like I watch a lot of it. No, watch a lot of Hibs games. And some Scotland ones, but no them all. Right. So I watched that and we're going, why the fuck are we why are we dropping? And then like we cleared the ball just before the goal and it went out towards halfway. And there was nothing there. Like there was nobody even a wee bit out to go and press it. And it came back into the guy and he was sort of, I don't know, 20 odd yards out on our left. And it's just a bit doesn't get out to him. Ball comes in. And I can't remember about the Clige thing. I know somebody said that he's done something as well. I'd need to watch it properly again. And I've seen the stills of it, and you go, what the fuck? What was the marking? Andy Cadden did the mark his man, and you go, but why are we so deep? Why are we inviting the pressure on? Why are we inviting it on?
That seems to be, I don't know what to say, hallmark, but that's something that we've talked about numerous times in the time that the podcast has been running, like from Jack Ross, Nick Montgomery, various other managers as well. So is that a Hibs way of playing football, or is it that do we just not observe it in other teams? Like, surely can it just be us? Because that's such a simple. It seems like it's such a simple thing to change, especially it can't be because the team's tired if we're making if we make the number of substitutions that we do normally for 60 minutes onwards.
See, and that's one, right, where either the coaches, whatever coaches doing the shouting this week, can be shouting for them to get out, but it's got to be on the players' responsibility to get out. Like, it doesn't matter how much they 3 or 4 or however many coaches we've got are shouting out, up, fucking whatever. We've got boys there that played for Scotland 63 times. Like, get them out. Like,
Aye.
Mhm.
Players need to
Uh,
they need to be accountable at that moment in time. Absolutely.
midfield were sitting so tight to the. As I say, they cleared the ball, and there was no midfielders anywhere near getting it. So it's just gaining the ball back to have another one.
Mhm.
And it's like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, why have we not got? Why are we not trying to, like, even instead of just slashing it clear, actually try and keep ahead of it? Because we're just kicking it back to them. Like, it just felt so. But then, come on, it's not nothing new, eh? We've done this. We've
Yeah.
done this before.
Spot said everything wrong with Gray just now. Wrong starting 11. Subs not at the right point. System needs change. Playing too defensive. DJ 1875 said mentality is weak. Casuals attire said we need a different strike force. Not good enough. Campbell offers nothing. Stephen said, how many times Boyle going to be offside? Need to finish that chance off the crossbar. Bowie relied on too much, forgetting he's a young lad. Beezer said 90 plus minutes of canny string a pass, hoofball, so disappointing. Sean said beat by an absolute rancid Hearts team because we don't attack the ball. Not good enough. Famous 578 said we look weak. Middle of the park was non-existent. And for as good as Bowie was earlier on in the season, he's been absolute garbage for weeks now. Frustrating. They were bang average and we caused them very little. We're absolutely nowhere near as good as we thought we were. Ross Creep, Chris Cadden is fucking shite. More an observation than a talking point. Colin says, imagine losing a late goal. Never saw that coming. Scott Patterson said, poor match overall. I didn't think Hearts troubled us despite having most of the possession. Second half, we gave them too much respect, though. Has been the story of our season, not taking chances when they come and then switching off at the wrong time. Gutted to lose it at the death. Cadden didn't have a bad game, though. Like, I mean, he
Well,
switched off.
everybody's talking about this boy as if he's some kind of fucking world beater. He'd done nothing in the game. And who was playing directly against him? But he did switch off for the goal, right?
It's a significant thing, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, there have been questions about the recruitment then. So Miller was sold before the end of the transfer window. We've not replaced them. We didn't get another powerful striker in to replace Kukovic. Questions to be asked of Mr. Malcolm Mackay and the recruitment team?
Well, there definitely looks like there's gaps there. Eh? I mean, we've not got a replacement for Bowie. Like, although that's who came on, Kludgy came on for. Like, because you're going, what the fuck? Like, taking Bowie off. Am I right? Am I made that up?
No,
It was
you're
Bowie
right.
came off, eh?
Yeah,
Aye, I was just thinking, I doubt myself there, but aye, it was. And it's like, we'll just go with the two quick guys now, because all we're definitely got to do is just try and kick over the top. Like, that does feel basic. But aye, and O'Hara was good yesterday, by the way. And O'Hara's been good. So I think that, like, we talk about missing Lewis Miller, but we talk about playing Lewis Miller back at wing back, because we actually got the best for him at the position O'Hara's playing.
Riz Harkis said, looking forward to listening tomorrow morning. If I could add a talking point, is David Gray Teflon from criticism?
From who?
Well, from fans, I suppose. So
we've heard tonight, no, eh?
Aye.
I think David Gray started getting criticised when we got beat off Kelly Hearts, so no, he's not immune for criticism.
There's folk criticising him now. There's been criticism here, we've criticised him. There's a difference between criticising somebody and saying you want them sacked. So I wouldn't be shouting for him to get sacked yet. I probably wouldn't shout for him to get sacked anyway, right? But he's no. Why would we be talking about sacking? But criticism, yes, because we're not playing Bowie right. He's no got a settled team. We've no replaced Nico in that, which you could argue is a recruitment, but he's got the final say. He must be, so maybe he's banging his head, going, "Fucking hell, why did you not get me a different striker?" And that, well, what Dykes didn't they? So, but of course he's got some criticism for how the setup is, the formation is, the tactics, the team, the individuals he's picking.
Not to take it off topic, because I think it ties in. You talked about Malcolm Mackay in the previous point and receiving criticism for transfer movement. The team, like the management team, the recruitment guys, they'll be well aware. They'll be having discussions behind the scenes about who's performing and who's not. They surely have the opportunity come the next transfer window to make moves, to get players out, to bring players in, to like the underperforming players. There's an option there to try and find them new clubs and bring in players who will lift the standard of the squad. Still, like those things are still true. Like we're still trying to get better. We're still trying to make third.
Yeah, agree.
Or better.
Paul said, not a lot in it. Great cross, finished by the standout player on the pitch. Small margins decide games. If Boyle scores a chance that hits the bar, then the result was different. In saying that, I thought both teams were big on effort, poor on quality. Dean said, every long throw being horrible and useless. Josh Scott said, people saying Gray out don't have a clue. Clegy needs to start for Boyle, over Boyle from now on. Mike said, didn't deserve anything from that game. No control of midfield, chasing the game the whole time. Not entirely sure what Gray is trying to do. I think that's the thing that's coming through there. I think that is where the frustration is coming from, because I agree with it. I watched as the last few games and I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what? I just didn't get it. I didn't get what the setup is. And I thought when we played in Europe, you could see what we were doing. And I don't know if it was because we were up against much better opposition that everybody had to be switched on and drilled into the system. And we played quite counter-attacking or high press. You know, like everybody kind of knew it.
That's when Mulligan looked good.
Aye. It's like they all raised their game for it. But we didn't have that at the moment. And John, I think you made the point about Team 7 sussed us out. It feels like that. It feels like teams can't how to stifle us and we don't have an answer to it at the moment. And it does make for a pretty grim viewing, especially when you're watching, like we mentioned Motherwell earlier on, like Motherwell with a fraction of the budget are playing nice football. They're not getting the results though, which is ultimately what it comes down to. Like if we were getting the results that Motherwell were, but are they above us in the league yet, Motherwell?
Yeah, they are, right.
Just
goal difference.
On goal difference.
What formation are they playing? I mean, we'll just say that.
I don't know.
Their
brilliant stats the same as yours. One goal different.
One goal different. There you go. It's that sort of. I think they look like they're building something though. Like I think it's that different goal. You reference it to Mowbray.
Yeah, because they're trying to play that kind of football, and that's why when Mowbray came in, they're scoring loads of goals, but they're leaking as well. They leak goals, another 3 a day, 3 at Tynecastle as well, didn't they? So they've. I'm just trying to see how many goals they've let in. Just the same as us.
Exactly the same. There you go. What a great point.
But we are leaking goals.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. There is teams with more than that. It just feels like we're leaking. But they've had a couple of big high scorer ones, which is probably given that perception. But they're definitely trying to. They've got a brand of football. They've got a shite goalie, even like Mowbray. It's like you've got these football players playing football, and then you've got a goalie that's shite.
Well, they went to Tiny and ended up 3-0 up, and their keeper chucked a couple in. And
they gave one to Celtic the day as well.
Aye. That's me just actually said the same thing on YouTube. They chucked a 3-goal lead against Hearts. But how good would it be to get a 3-goal lead against Hearts at Tiny? When does that happen to us? James S said not scoring, too easy to score against, especially at the end of the half. Hanley, Mulligan, and Salinger only pass marks. The rest were garbage. Raymond Gray said, on Gray, that one, I'm afraid, played for a draw, 2 subs and 1 with 5 minutes to go. Best squad for a while, and we can't get our best 11 on the park. Every game we are done in midfield. The gaps it causes lead to those crosses being allowed in and consequently goals conceded. Ish Bell said, why is our record signing getting 3 minutes in one of the biggest games of the season? GM said, Gray is not adapting, he's not learning. We've lost goals. Hearts 91 minutes, Falkirk 46, Rangers 44 and 47. Dundee United 44 and 47, Leisure away 93, Leisure home 48, Partizan 44, Kelly 45 and 48, and Midtjylland 120. That's unacceptable.
It is actually, and it's interesting when you hear it rattled off like that, how often it is, because you can sometimes say you just think that happens and it's not as bad, but I mean, fuck me, that's quite a lot of goals, like all round about, which suggests some kind of concentration issue. Like, I know folk are chucking mentality about it, and I think I saw you on Hibs.net saying, what do you mean by mentality? Because folk just come out with the mentality chat rather than actually what it is. Like, it's an easy word to say. Roy Keane says it a lot. But it's actually like they're not concentrating. Why are they not concentrating? Why are they switching off just before the break or the game or just after they come back out after half time? What is stopping them from being switched on? Like,
aye,
we've seen them do it before, right?
Yeah.
So you can't, like, it's a mentality thing at this moment because it wasn't last season for the bulk of last season.
Is it I don't know. I'm reluctant to say that we've been found out, but if we play counter-attacking football, that relies on us soaking up a bit of pressure. But if teams try and exploit that it means that they're more likely at certain points in the game to whip a ball into the box, for example. But if it's also true that we tend to sit deeper and deeper as the half progresses, then it's like those things become more likely.
And
So
that
if
could be
you
the
then,
mentality thing. It's like a lack of confidence, so they're all going, well, we better defend. It's
Yeah.
playing on their mind too much that they're all thinking, I better get back there and help. And actually, it's just creating more confusion than, like, because that just looked, when you see the still, John, it's in a group chat we're in, there's a couple of stills and it's been circled in that. And you see it and you go, "But that's not organised. That's
it's
just chaos."
frustrating. It's frustrating because I think in my time watching football, those things are counterintuitive. Like they never work the way you want them to. So it's like playing Harry Kane. I think England, when they played Harry Kane against Croatia, like he was hobbling about the place because he's capable of that bit of magic. He'll get you a goal. No, he was a man down.
Mm.
And it's like, so you could even apply that to say like David Gray playing Martin Boyle, even though Martin Boyle is clearly out of form at the moment, or juggling Mulligan about from one position to another. No, we need to get something stable and consistent. You need to be able to drop Boyle to bring someone else in to try and improve the standard, because an underperforming Boyle, as good as he is, it's probably better to have someone in playing at the peak of their abilities.
Mm.
And I think that requires, I don't even necessarily think it's a brave decision. It just requires rational decision making rather than relying on outdated tropes.
That's a good spot to end it. The Green Tea said to hit the like button, guys. So please do, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button. Thanks for sticking with us for that. Probably wasn't pleasant listening, at least for the Hibs fans that have tuned in. Probably a bit more for interlopers that have joined in for a bit of Shad and Friday. But there you go. Enjoy it while it lasts. We'll be back for subscribers tomorrow with extra time, so stay tuned for that. And you can sign up at Patreon or here on YouTube as well by clicking the join button, where you'll get access to all our subscriber content. In the meantime, we'll be back on the phone with the phone in on Thursday, and we will see you next time.